You're watching Seven River Sports here on KQEG. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Well, today, special program, because we have two members of the Division III boys cross-country state champs with us, Peter Glodosky and Ethan Greeg. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well, talk about celebrities, talking about bringing home the gold. State champs. You won the last state championship 11 years ago in 2007. So now, coming from an unknown to now a famous Aquinas Blue Gold athlete. Peter, your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's pretty awesome, to be honest, because last year we failed to qualify for state overall for, I think it was like the second time in 12 years we didn't make it. So to be able to go from not even making it to state to winning state has just been really awesome.
Well, Ethan, you finished with a time of 16:24.
Yes.
And just to build on what Peter said, you came from basically an unknown. So share with our viewers how that developed from an unknown to a state champ.
I think it was kind of a progression because no one was really paying attention to our cross-country team at all. Like, the Tribune hasn't really been paying attention to us, nothing, and then we won conference, and I think that's what caught some people's attention, and then we won sectionals, and then we won state, which was all big.
Of course, and it's a team effort. We're going to talk about that, but media coverage from your MVC champ to the state was certainly, I applaud that because they did indeed let the community know what kind of a special team you had in 2018. But when you think of the MVC cross country, you think of Logan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Certainly they've dominated. Mm-hmm. Central prior to that. Aquinas occasionally, but not part of that top tier. And that must be a special feeling too. A lot of people did not expect you, Peter, to be MVC champs.
Yeah, I think Aquinas has won it one time back in 2006, so we were only the second team to ever win. And our coach never really emphasizes conference. He prefers state. But to be able to go really with like no expectations and just run our race and to come out champions was really great.
Well, let's talk about that race. Let's talk about the strategy. Because a lot of people perhaps aren't aware of strategy. They just see athletes and they watch a race and they're excited for the athletes, but they don't know that there's more to it than just running your fastest. Start with you, Ethan. Talk about strategy.
Strategy is like pacing in a race, so you don't really want to go. I don't like going out super fast in the first mile, so I knew that I wanted to go out like at least the front pack. So I let two Logan runners and a non-Alaska runner take out the lead and let them pace me through it, and then I caught them at around the 2 mile and then kept picking it up, and then yeah.
So you saved your strongest for the finish.
Yes, that's like the biggest strategy, is saving enough energy, having enough energy to finish strong in a race.
But Peter, how do you know you finished well too? You finished 17th in 17 minutes. Mm-hmm. How do you know that you have enough gas left in the tank? How do you know that you're at the brakes where you need to be?
It's really just a feeling that far into the race. You've been going for quite a few minutes at that point, and you just kind of need to tell yourself you need to go faster. This is what you have to do if you want to do well. You just have to trust that you paced out the first part slow enough that you can kick it in for the last part.
During the course of the year, you ran on several different trails, several different race, and the landscape is different and so on. And I'm familiar since a couple of our children ran at the state level and ran cross country and track and so on. But describe the race at the Ridges in Wisconsin Rapids, and in terms of difficulty, and compare that to some other races.
Me? It's not a slow course, but it's also not the fastest course. It's kind of right in between. It's not super hilly. It's on a golf course, so the grass is nice and soft. This year it was cold and rainy, so it was a little muddy, but we had been racing in muddy conditions for the better part of the year, so we were pretty used to that coming into state. And the biggest thing about it is it's state and everyone goes out super fast, so you just have to know to keep it a little slower than usual.
Well, I think the reason they go out fast is because of the adrenaline rush, which is part of it. But Peter, Ethan talked about the weather. How does the weather play in a part in your races?
In my race, I really don't think weather affects me that much because, again, we ran in it pretty much like the entire season, or most races, and a lot of mud, so we're pretty used to it. And I just kind of ignore it, if that kind of makes sense. Like I tell my body to just ignore, like my body feeling cold, or yeah.
The mental, you talk about the mental aspect, Peter. The mental is where a lot of people really struggle. You know, the mental is to the physical as 4 is to 1. 4 times more important to be prepared mentally. But you're not always at your best mentally. How do you win that battle?
That's a great question. It's just really, you have to convince yourself that you have to do this, and this is what's important in the now. You just have to forget about everything else and just focus on doing your best for your team.
And a lot of runners have routines, pre-race routines and so on to get themselves mentally ready. Do you have one, Ethan?
I like to listen to music. So I listen to music that gets my adrenaline pumping. And I always come up with something like, what am I going to say to myself during the race to get me out of that mental state of like, you can't finish this. And it's always like some motto, like go or push through it, so, something short.
Has there ever been anybody in your life that's doubted you, that's planted a seed saying, yeah, you're not really up to it?
No. Everyone's been supportive, all my friends and family, of me running.
You probably had a lot of coaches too, Peter. Describe what you think is an ideal coach.
Coach Wilhelmy is the ideal coach. I think he's great. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's been here before. He has all the experience he needs. He knows each individual athlete and knows what we need to do and what he can do to push us to be our best. Describe
a blue gold practice for our viewers, Ethan.
Close. A lot. I think we're a really close team, and I think that's what sets us apart from a lot of teams. Is I don't think they're really like friends. Every single one of us on the team is friends, and I think that's what pushes us to go harder in every single practice.
I've always felt as a runner myself, running in weekend races and so on, and some of our children runners, that cross-country, track and field and so on is a different culture, different than the other sports, unique in many ways. Describe the blue gold culture for us, Peter.
Well, I think like Ethan was saying, all of us are great friends. We're like just a family. We just get together after school and we do practices. We do stuff outside of school together as a team, and we're all just really close, and we know we're there for each other when we need it.
And so you do things out of school, but I know it's a team effort, and we talked about before we went on the air about your teammates being a big part of your success. Talk about your teammates, Peter, and share some things about the importance of their contributions.
Well, they're all just great guys. If I can use State as an example, Andrew Skemp had been sick all week, and so he wasn't having his best race, and he's usually our number 2 runner, but everyone behind him stepped up, and most of them ran their best race at State to help make up for his poor feelings and his poor race.
Powerful statement you just made. Mention the other athletes that part of that state championship team. You had Noah, you had Mitch.
Oh yeah, Noah, Zach. Sorry, Noah's his brother. Sorry, Zach finished 6th for our team, fifth for our team. He saw, if I could go back to the race, he noticed Andrew falling back hard, and so he made that decision with Ethan and Mitch that they really have to pick it up, and I think that just says a lot. Like, they knew that what they had to do.
Yeah, so Zach, his brother Noah plays football.
Yeah.
So Zach and Ethan and Mitch and Andrew and Ryan, too, all part of that success story. And how did you celebrate that championship on Saturday evening? And, well, you're probably still celebrating, are you?
Yes. Yes.
We just got back to Aquinas. We rode the bus back. We were all super tired because we had most of us ran our best race of the year. So we didn't really do much. We just went to McDonald's and ate whatever we wanted now that our season was over.
So, and you didn't eat that way during the season, of course, because runners are pretty strict in their nutrition habits. Well, it's been a great first half. We're going to come back and get to know Peter and Ethan a little bit more right after this.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports, a special show here this week as we honor the Division III boys cross country team, state champs from La Crosse, Aquinas. With us again, Peter Glodosky and Ethan Greeg. Before we went to break, talk a little bit about you celebrating at McDonald's afterwards. But being an athlete, as my children are, they're pretty disciplined in their nutrition, in their diet. How much of a part does that play, starting with you, Peter, in your training routine?
Well, it didn't really play that big of a part until this year. This year I had a goal in mind I wanted to achieve, and so I started taking more steps than usual in trying to reach that, and one of that was trying to eat healthier and just watch my diet a little more closely than I had been previous seasons.
So a typical routine for a cross-country athlete in terms of their meal selection would be what?
The day of a race, or just in general? The day of a race, I usually can't eat much. I think the day of state I had 2 pieces of plain toast at home before I left, and that's all I had, because I'm always really nervous the day of a race, and I usually can't eat a lot of food.
And then throughout the season, you're pretty strict in your nutrition habits, too.
Yeah, just trying to eat healthy, fruits and veggies. I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for lunch, and just trying not to eat out a lot or eat a lot of junk food.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're that way, too, Ethan, because you both are in great shape, and you look like runners.
Right. This year has been the strictest year for my nutrition. Like, I've always, at the beginning of every season, I try to cut out like all junk food, all chips, all candy, and I never really stuck to that in my first 3 years of cross country. But this year, I was the most disciplined to myself. So like, only wheat bread, no soda, no anything. And for race days, I usually only have like 1 banana and a granola bar, because that's all my stomach can handle.
Well, it's great nutrition, but by the way, as we tape the show here, it is Halloween, so happy Halloween to you. Are you going to deviate somewhat from that today and celebrate Halloween by having some candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you talk about nutrition and disciplined lifestyle, but really more than perhaps many other sports, the cross-country athletes, track athletes, long-distance runners train year-round, and their disciplined training schedule is what makes them successful. Describe yours, Peter.
Well, we start off I think it's the last week of June is when our cross-country season will begin. It'll be an optional summer running program for anyone that wants to go out and set a base level of fitness down. So that is from the last week of June until the start of cross-country, like the last 2 weeks of August, I think. And then cross-country goes through October. The last weekend of October is always state. And then I think we get 2 weeks to a month off to just hang out and do what we want and not be running. And then our winter running program will start, and that'll take us through the start of track.
Of course, and Peter said optional practices in the summer and optional workouts in the off-season getting ready for track. It's really, is optional the right word?
No. We, our coach and us, the seniors, we expected at least our top like 8 to be there because like we're depending on them because we want to be the best we can be, and we can't do that when our varsity isn't showing up.
Of course, I've seen athletes win big races on a Saturday, and I'll see them on the running trails ahead of me, of course, on Sunday. So dedicated athletes in many ways don't take many days off. Would that describe you too?
Yeah, that's very true. Most days or most weeks we'll have a race on Saturday, and then most Sundays after, at least a few of us will get together and just go on a nice easy jog again that Sunday to help recover. Again,
our guests today, Peter Glodosky and Ethan Greeg. Well, Aquinas athlete. The life of a blue gold student athlete. The mission statement of Aquinas High School is a Christ-centered learning community that promotes academic excellence and in the tradition of the Catholic faith and in service and academic excellence. How does that mission statement apply to you, Ethan?
It applies to me through a student athlete and academics. I am really disciplined to keep my academic life and my sports life super organized. Running every day helps me set a time aside after practice to do homework and get that done, and that's like put me on a schedule of every single day of knowing what to do with my homework.
A lot of young people and adults struggle with time management, which is what Ethan just described. What's your thoughts, Peter?
Yeah, that's very true. Being a student athlete, you have a time of the day where you have to be at practice, and so that makes it easy to say, okay, after practice I need to get my homework done, and so setting time after that so that your grades can stay up, because sports isn't the only thing in our lives, and we need to keep those grades good.
You're both blessed with family support too. How important has that been to your success, Peter?
It's been great. My family's been really supportive. I actually went out for cross-country because when my brother was in high school, he did. So they've all just been really happy with how I've been doing, and have been there for me the whole way.
Family support has inspired you to a great deal of success.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree. My parents like push me every day. My mom dragged me into the 7th grade cross-country meeting, and I just fell in love with it after that first run. And ever since then, they just kept encouraging me.
Dragged you in?
Yeah.
You were a little reluctant?
Yes.
But has experience in athletics, created some confidence in you that you never thought existed?
I think so, yeah. I would say that. I'm sorry, I don't really...
Confidence overall in changing who you are?
They gave me more, way more confidence.
And what about life lessons that you have gotten along the way, Peter?
Life lessons? I don't know, just being able to run with a group of people that are kind of strangers at first and build hopefully lifelong friendships and bonds with them is a great skill to have. It's made me more confident, like you were saying with Ethan, and just more outgoing in general, I believe.
The next chapter of your life begins in a few months, right?
Yes.
Where's that going to take you, Peter?
I believe at this point, University of Iowa is where I will be going for college.
And you're going to take your banana with you, too?
Oh, yep. This will go with me everywhere.
You might want to share with our viewers, like, what's this banana mean?
Okay, so in 2006, the Aquinas runners, we wear bright yellow uniforms, and they always ran together as a group during races. They stuck together, And so people would always joke and say they look like a pack of bananas or a bunch of bananas. And being the kids they were, they took that idea and ran with it and decided to make the banana the logo of our cross-country team and to put it on pink so it would stand out even more.
I think a lot of people in the community, even watching the show, have no idea, but I did know this story. And I don't have a banana or pink sweatshirt with a banana on, but now that the Blue Goals are state champs, I might just invest in one of those. Yeah. So the next chapter of your life, and then you're going to run there to also?
I'm planning on trying out for the team, but they're D1, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it or not.
Something tells me that there's a strong possibility that you will.
I hope so.
And then major, and where are we going to see you years from now?
Well, I'm planning on majoring in astronomy. It just has always interested me. Not many people talk about it, and I've just always been fascinated with it. So I plan on majoring there and just going off and doing something with that.
Whoa. That says a little bit. I mean, you're highly intelligent. How many people on the show have ever said I'm going to major in astronomy? Not too many. That's I applaud you for that. So the next chapter of your life, Ethan.
I don't really know what my plans for college are yet, but I know I do really want to run in college. That's like my biggest thing.
Well, there's a school called UW La Crosse.
Yes, I am.
That's a pretty good. They just won the WIAC championship here last week.
I am looking there.
And their coach is a good friend of mine. I think he would love to have you. And then there's a place called Viterbo that has an up-and-coming cross-country and track program. Any thoughts on that?
I have gotten letters from them, and I think I will be going on a visit there.
There's a lot of young people, parents watching the show too, that how can I want to aspire to be a state champion and a successful runner. Advice for young people, what would you give them?
Just training every day, trying not to stop and just make it a habit of yours to go on a run every day, and putting in the work every day is important so that you just have that set foundation.
Ethan, if you travel to a Blessed Sacrament or a cathedral or St. Pat's and they ask you to speak to their students about being a Blue Gold student athlete, what would you say to them?
That it doesn't happen overnight to become a good athlete. You have to work for it, and you earn it, and the academics is you really work hard, and that makes you like an all-around better student if you're working in academics and athletics.
Good advice. So are we going to see similar success for the Blue Golds during the track season this spring, Peter?
Yeah, I believe so. We've just recently moved down from Division II to Division III, so hopefully that'll increase our chances. We have a lot of good runners and field event people going out for track this year, so it should be good.
And the media will be watching because they'll know that from cross-country state champs, similar success could happen with you, Ethan, Peter, and your Blue Gold athletes, student athletes. So does that inspire you?
Yes, it does. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
So is it something you would look forward to the track season because similar success may occur?
I didn't understand first. Yes, I am looking forward to it because we could do so. I haven't been to state yet, so I could do something I've never done before at a state track meet because no one has ever seen me or Aquinas really in distance events.
Well, they've seen you now because you're famous being on the show. And you both have done a good job, too, so we want to thank you both for being on the show, Peter Glodosky and Ethan Greeg. So thanks for coming, taking time out of your classes, and being on Seven Rivers Sports.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, Rick and I were in Bangor on Friday for round 3 of the WIAA football playoffs. The opponent, the Highland Cardinals from the Six Rivers Conference. Highland struck first on a rare Bangor turnover as Spencer Linchild picked up a fumble and raced 46 yards to pay dirt. And just like that, Highland led 6-0. That did not faze the home team as Bangor answered with 2 TDs, both by junior Carter Horseman from 14 and from 1 yard out. 14-6 after 1. The train kept rolling down the track as the Scenic Bluffs champions scored 28 points in the second quarter as Horseman scored 4 more touchdowns. Kicker Wyatt Wolf was perfect, hitting 6 straight PETs, and Bangor went to it intermission ahead 42-6. So a running clock in the second half with only 1 TD, courtesy of Wyatt Wolf from 15 yards out. Carter Horseman, 24 carries for 185 yards and 5 TDs. The Cardinal defense held Highland to only 102 total yards. Highland ends the season with a 7-5 record, while Bangor takes its 11-1 record to the 4th round, facing Blackhawk on Friday in Middleton, Wisconsin, and we'll be there to bring you the action. So from Bangor, the Cardinals 48, Highland 6. Well, that's it this week on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy weekend.